Hello everyone, my name is Ben, and in this video I'm going to go over how to play and do well with Sombra. So Sombra wields a machine pistol that has a rate of fire of 20 rounds per second. Her shots fire in a short range spread, and that shot spread happens immediately when firing. Unlike a Soldier 76 who can burst his weapon to reduce any potential spread, Sombra simply just can't do that. So this means to play Sombra effectively you need to be close range a majority of the time. Trying to hit targets far away will result in some damage but not too much. On the flip side though, Sombra can shred larger targets like a Winston or a Roadhog from farther distances, but in general you should try to avoid mid to long range gunfights with other heroes. Now that you know some information about her machine pistol, let's look at her abilities. So Sombra's first ability is Hack. It takes 2 seconds to channel, and with this ability you can hack enemies and health packs. As you can see on screen now, the hack distance is relatively far. But note, when hacking a hero or a health pack, you have to stay aimed at whatever you are hacking. Unlike a Mercy that tethers her beam to an ally and can basically 360 while still keeping the tether, Sombra has to keep aimed at whatever she is trying to hack. Also keep in mind when Sombra takes damage, she won't be able to use her hack ability. Now when you've actually hacked an enemy, the ability is quite powerful. It disallows any of the enemy's abilities for 6 seconds. Additionally, when a McCree, Pharah, Reaper, and Roadhog ult, you can actually cancel their ults midway through. But for every other hero, you won't be able to stop their ult. A couple of heroes Sombra is great against are Zarya, Lucio, Bastion, and sometimes a Mei depending on the scenario. If you hack a Tracer, it's pretty much game over for that Tracer if your team focuses her. She won't be able to use her Blink or Recall, which as you know, are pretty essential for her to survive. If you hack a Zarya, she won't have her shield to use, which is a good portion of what allows her to survive. If you hack a Lucio, then he won't be able to heal up or run away quickly. If you hack a Bastion, he'll instantly come out of sentry mode if he's in that mode, and have to shoot you whilst he's standing up. And if you hack a Mei, she won't be able to use her healing, freeze ability, and ice wall ability. Try to avoid hacking characters that don't utilize their abilities as much. Hacking a Winston or Reaper can be useful in some scenarios, but a majority of the time, it would probably be better if you just shoot them from afar or just run away from them. Now, another form of hacking, as we've previously mentioned, is hacking health packs. Hacking a health pack will make it respawn 3 times quicker and make it so enemies cannot pick up the health pack. This ability will last on that health pack that you hacked for 1 minute. And as you can probably guess, this is pretty powerful, especially if you are playing at a lower competitive level and the other team doesn't have a decent healer or healers. What's also nice is you can also see how much time remains for the hack by looking at the Sombra icon over the hack. Based on where the bright matrix icon is at, indicates how long the hack has left. Sombra's second ability is Therm Optic Camo. Sombra becomes invisible for 6 seconds, and also she'll increase in speed whilst visible. Do note though, you won't be able to attack whilst running invisible, and also if you get too close to enemies or if you take damage, you'll come out of being invisible immediately. Sombra's third ability is Translocator. Sombra will toss out a beacon that then you can at any time return to within a 15-second time period. Sombra's ult is EMP. This ability sends out a large energy wave, and any enemy within that radius will be hacked for 6 seconds. We've already went over what happens when someone is actually hacked, but to recap, basically they cannot use any of their abilities for 6 seconds once you hack them. And finally, Sombra's passive allows her to see enemies through walls as long as they are below 50% HP. This ability is only seen by you and not your entire team. If you see someone low from far away, make sure you call it out so your team can actually take them out. Alright, now that we've gone over all of her abilities, let's talk about different strategies and different ways to go about playing Sombra effectively. So at the start of every game, especially for modes like Control Point, which is also known as King of the Hill, you should try to lock down key health pack locations. As you can see on screen now, when the game starts I use my Therm Optic Camo to speed up and then place a safety beacon behind me so I can go back to it if just in case the enemy team is going to be where I'm going to be going. I immediately go to a key health pack location. At that point, I basically have 10 remaining seconds to either lay down fire, or I could just go back to the beacon if I feel in danger, or if I just want to kind of group back with my team. One difference between a good and bad Sombra is the ability to recognize how much time you have left on your beacon. Luckily, the Overwatch team put a nice countdown indicator in the middle of the screen, so all your job is to basically keep track of that timer, and when it gets low, you're going to need to make some key decisions on what to do next. Now there are really 2 offensive strategies to grasp as Sombra. First, you can play more skittish and throw your beacon in a safe location, activate your Therm Optic Camo, and try to make something out of that. Typically, you would go for some sort of squishy, and playing in this way will result if done right, and very few deaths. But of course this means you're out of the fight for long periods, as you have to set up shop every time, you have to throw down your beacon, you have to wait for all your cooldowns to come back up, and it's a very long process if you want to stay safe all the time. Which brings us to the next more complex strategy in being offensive with your beacon. There are a couple fun strategies here to do. The first one is to throw your beacon clearly where 1 or 2 enemy members might be, then turn on your thermoptic camo and surprise them from behind. Shoot them for around 2 to 3 seconds, go back to your beacon, and then finish them off. This will typically work against a Widowmaker, a McCree, or even a tank. Just make sure whenever, like, say you get behind a McCree, to hack them so that they can't flashbang you. This is a rather high risk, high reward gameplay strategy. Don't do it too often, but it's just one of the more creative ways to play Sombra. Another strategy you can utilize is whenever you are with your team, don't utilize your beacon defensively. Instead, use your beacon to dodge enemy abilities or to get behind enemies easily when they're attacking you. Now, the final advice I have is centered around Sombra's ult. Her ult is great for shutting down a Mercy that is coming in to fly and revive the enemy team. It's also a great initiator. If you get off a good EMP, then your Bernhard ults some key targets, you'll be able to easily clean up the entire enemy team without having to worry about a Lucio or Zenyatta ruining the fun. Another great use of your ult is to quickly kill off a Tracer or Mei. Right when you see those heroes come near to you and your team, you can ult and then your entire team can kill them off. Being creative with your beacon and quick on your feet is key to being a good Sombra player. Reading a situation and knowing when a Winston, Roadhog, Pharah, and Soldier 76 are around and trying to avoid getting caught out by them is super important. Be offensive when you need to be, such as when you see a Widow sniping, and be careful when you know a Roadhog or Winston is nearby. Have a beacon ready to go back to, say, if a Roadhog is about to throw a hook at you. So yeah, there you guys have it. That's all for this guide on Sombra. I hope it helps you out a lot. Leave a like on the video if you haven't already. Thank you all so much for watching. I will talk to you very soon. Thanks.